What's up, YouTube? In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to install Android TV on a Raspberry Pi 5. Step by step, we will walk through the whole process of installing Android TV. If you're looking for a complete tutorial, you're in the right place. Want to learn more? Stick around. Welcome back to Cali Tech. Alright, enough with the fluff. Let's jump right in. Quick list of what you need for this project. You need 2 USB drives, and then you're going to need 2 SD cards, and of course a Pi 5. Then you need 3 pieces of software. I'll leave the links for the software down in the description below. First, you need the Raspberry Pi imager. Just click the link I supplied and then click download for Windows. And it's already done, nice and easy. Second piece of software is the OS. Now, this will change as time goes and you'll get newer versions. Like right now we're at 22.1. It doesn't work for me, so I'm gonna get 22.0. So go to downloads down there and 22, and here is 22.0. There's 4 of them, so let's make sure and get the right one. We don't want the OTA, so it's one of these two then. Raspberry 5. It should say, there it is, ATV, and that's for Android TV, so this is the one we want. You can just right click and download and select where you want to put it. I'm just going to put it in the downloads folder. Save. And it is 662 megabytes, so it might take a minute. I'll speed this up. Alright, looks like we're done. Shrink this down. And let's see if we have a file in our downloads. And there's our imager we downloaded. And here's our lineage we downloaded. So we can just extract that file right here. It's just an ISO file. That way it's ready to go. So now the only thing we need to do is get our third piece of software. Mind the gaps. And we want to pick the one that's a zip file, full, and ATV 64 for 15. Yep, this is it. It's right here, this top one. And alright, let's go to our downloads folder. Now we got all the software that we need. Let's install the imager. And make sure this is checked and hit finish. And it'll pop up on its own. So make sure you have your SD card plugged into your PC. And choose device. We'll go with Raspberry Pi 5. Operating system, we're going to go with use custom because we have our own that we'd like to use, and it's asking where it's at, so it's in downloads, and this looks like us, 22.0. Yep, that's us. And then open, choose the storage, so this is us, and next. There's no need to edit anything, and it's just asking if it can delete everything on the drive. Yes. And this can take a minute. And once the process is complete, there will be a lot of stuff pops up. Just X everything out. Don't format anything. It's the last thing you want to do. Alright. So it says we've put the image on our SD card. And we can remove the card. Hit continue. Make sure it's ejected. And remove the card. Alright, so we are done with the SD card part of this. Now we have to put that program, Mind the Gaps. You remember that earlier we downloaded? So let's plug in a USB drive. And it's pretty simple, guys. You just drag over, well, let's close this down. Just drag over that file, Mind the Gaps. It was in downloads and Mind the Gaps right here. You just want to right click, send to, and whatever your USB drive is. Or you can drag and drop or just put it on the drive. And we're done with the USB drive, so we can eject that. There's one more thing we got to do before we head on over to the Pi, and that's expand our SD card. So the image that we put on the card, it only makes the drive, I think it's like 5-6 gigs. It's not big at all. And your card most likely is going to be bigger than that. I think the smallest card you can use would be like 8 gigs. But you want the full 8 gigs. If you got 256 gigs, you want the full 256 gigs. So as of right now, I'm only using 6. So we want to expand it. So we need a piece of software to expand that drive. And for me, guys, it's Gparted all day. First off, we're going to open up our Pi imager again. And we'll choose device, Raspberry Pi 5. And the OS, we're going to want this one right here, Raspberry Pi OS 64, recommended. I think this is the one. So click that, and then, oh yeah, we have to put a drive in, so. Alright, I found a 128 gig. Popping that in right now. Alright, going crazy, huh? Alright, so once you have your drive plugged in, and it's the only one, and yep, this is the 128 that I just put in, click that, and hit next. And we don't really need to edit any settings, and it's just saying we're going to wipe your drive. Yes. And this is probably going to take a second. So I'll fast forward through it real quick. And when you're done, you're going to get a bunch of boxes. Just make sure and don't format nothing and just X it out. Alright. So it says Raspberry Pi OS is on the SD card. And we can remove the card now. Alright, so we are finally ready, guys. I got my 128 that has the Raspberry Pi operating system, so we can use Gparted. And I have my 256 gig, which has the Android TV operating system on it. And don't forget, we also have the USB drive with the program Mind the Gaps on it. So if you have those 3 items ready to go, then we're ready to head over to the Pi. Now boot up the Pi with the PiOS SD card. And here we go. Let's go ahead and get this installed as quick as we can. United States for me. English. My time zone, and hit next. Alright, once you have your username and your password entered, hit next. Look up your internet. Mine is Nighthawk, let's see, and put your password in. And once entered, hit next. Alright, it's asking you if you want both Firefox or Chromium. I'm gonna choose Chromium and keep Firefox. Hit next. And now it's gonna update if needed. Alright, so it's done. Just hit OK. Your Raspberry Pi is now set up and ready to go. So all we gotta do is restart. So let's click restart. And there you have it, Raspberry Pi OS. So the reason we put this on here was for that software Gparted. So it's really simple to install. Just go to your terminal here and type in sudo space apt space install space Gparted. Hit enter. And it says, after this operation, additional disk space will be used. Do you want to proceed? Yes. So hit Y and enter. And it's going to download and install Gparted. Talk about quick, huh? That was easy. So let's go ahead and exit. Just type in exit, hit enter. And now you should have a new category. Yeah, system tools. And here is Gparted. Alright, so we got it booted up with the SD card and we got Gparted on it. So we need to transfer this over to a USB drive. This whole operating system. It'll take everything we just did and put it on a USB drive. It's pretty simple, guys. So all we got to do is plug in a USB drive to the USB 3.0 port on the back of the Pi. And then, as you can see, it popped up there. So what we want to do is there's a little piece of software in here. Let's see. Under accessories, SD card copier. And copy from device. So you want the source, which is the drive we booted from, and that would be, for me, the 128. And we want to copy it over to our USB drive, which is my Samsung flash drive. And then hit start. This will erase all content. And hit yes. If you're wondering why we're doing this, it's because we need to boot from the actual USB drive so we can stick the SD card in and expand it. If we're booting from the SD card, then there's nowhere to put the SD card, if that makes any sense. So you have to boot from USB with the Raspberry Pi OS. And if you work with drives a lot and you're not familiar with Gparted, you're going to be happy you did this because you're going to use it all the time. I use it a lot. Gparted's great. And this can take a minute depending on the speed of your drives. I'll go ahead and fast forward. Alright, and it was that simple. Copy complete. So hit OK. We can shut this down. And now we're just going to shut down the Pi. Alright, it took longer than usual for that to shut down, so if that happens to you, don't freak out, it'll shut down. But now let's pull out the SD card from the Pi. So now it's going to boot from that USB drive. Let's go ahead and power it on. If your Pi won't boot from USB, you might need to update your bootloader. And there it is, a nice clean boot. Alright, so now we're ready to continue with the tutorial. So now we need to expand our drive with the OS on it. So go ahead and put your SD card into your Pi with the OS for Android TV. Just inserted mine. There, it popped up. And I'm using an old school mouse. That's why it's taking forever for me to do anything. Yeah, I'm just gonna close all this down. Alright, let's open up Gparted. So let's go to the Raspberry, System Tools, and Gparted. Now, as you can see right here, and make sure you got the right drive, of course. The 128 is my actual USB drive, and this is the SD card with the Android TV on it. So that's the one we want to expand. As you can see, look at all this. See this huge area of 231 gigs? It's not being used. That's why we had to do this. So you take this large white portion here, right click, unmount. Okay, then we go to that same piece, a little white one at the end here, right click, resize. And then you literally just gotta grab it and pull it over. Pretty simple stuff all the way over. Until it says free space 0. And then hit resize move. To get that operation completed, we have to hit apply here. It's just saying, are you sure you want to do this? Hit apply. And that literally took barely any time at all. All operations successfully completed. And close. And as you can see now, our drive is 236 gigs. So that's going to make it run a lot better too. It's always better to have way too much space than not enough. So we are done with the expansion of the drive. So now we can boot up with Android TV. And all you got to do is shut down. And once shut down, just remove the USB drive. And it will boot from the SD card with Android TV installed on it. So let's go ahead and boot up Android TV for the first time. Here we go. And of course, the first boot's going to take way too long. But it runs really good, really smooth after this first boot. Welcome to Lineage OS. And of course you have to accept. And I'm using English. And it's asking if you'd like to help out. And we're ready to start. And here it is, guys. This is just bare bones Android TV 15. So first thing you're going to want to do is just go to settings. Go to system. Go to buttons. And tick advanced restart. Hit the back button. Go up to power and energy. And we're going to do a restart. And do recovery. And it'll boot up in a recovery mode. And it will bring you to Team Win Recovery Project. The first thing we need to do though is remember that USB drive that we put that file, Mind the Gaps. We need to stick that USB drive into a USB 3.0 port. Alright, I just inserted mine. And we're going to go to install. And make sure you have the right drive. And here is the USB. Hit OK. And here it is, Mind the Gaps 15. So click that. And all you have to do is grab this and pull it over. And you might have to hook a mouse up to actually pull that over. Alright, so it says it's done, and I'm not really wanting to reboot quite yet, so I'm just going to go back, and then we're going to go over to wipe. Alright, so all you have to do once again is grab this blue icon and pull it over. Now we're done, so now we can reboot the system. We're getting really close. And if you don't have a Bluetooth device to hook up, I think you can just hit back. Let me see. Yeah. Or you can wait it out and it'll finally quit asking you. It takes a while though. So English. Mine is Nighthawk. Put in your password. And connected. Alright, here's sign in. Alright, once signed in, accept the terms of service. It's all up to you, but select Google Services. And it's just asking you about voice control basically, and I'm gonna allow it. And get personal results. Sure, why not? Get the most out of your Google Assistant. And I don't really need more emails, so don't need that. Your Raspberry Pi 5 is powered by Android TV. Get apps from Google Play Store. Talk to the Google Assistant. And cast to your TV. And this is about as basic as it gets right here, guys. But let's go over to Apps, Play Store, and let's see, let's go over to your name icon. Let's see, and it says right here under Manage and Apps and Games that I have 8 updates pending. Alright, let's check it out. And they're all like Google Android TV and type apps. So let's update them all. This might take a second, I'll speed through it. Alright, so all updates are updated. Let's back out. No updates available. So let's see what it looks like now on the home screen. And this is a little more like what you're used to seeing probably. Free live TV channels, buy and rent movies, and it loads up fast. This thing runs really good. Alright, before we get any further into this, let's go over to settings and go down to System, and it should be down at the bottom, Raspberry Pi settings. So right here at the top, audio device, HDMI 1. If your sound isn't working, you can switch it over to HDMI 0 and it will work then. Or you can just unplug the cord from one HDMI port over to the other. That should fix any sound issues. And DAC, here's your resolution, a CEC, which is neat to control devices, and for red mode, there's a lot of options in here. Nothing that you really have to do. Like right here, you can overclock it if you'd like, but quad core at 24 running a Android TV, I think that's enough. You could overclock it, make it a little quicker, but you better have adequate cooling to do that. So I'm just going to keep mine at 24 because it runs great. And make sure it's on performance so you can get, all the performance out of your processor. SSH, and that's it. We can back out of there. So now your Android TV is completely set up on a Pi 5. And I mean running well. Alright, so most Android devices you can hook a controller up to by going to Remote and Accessories. And as you can see, I already have an Xbox controller connected because I would like to play Asphalt 8. It's getting hard to find nowadays. A lot of systems won't play it anymore. I don't even think you can play it on the Shield anymore. So when I seen it on here, I was pretty happy. So let's check that out real quick. And let's go to games. Nah, let's go to search. Asphalt 8. And there it is. Oh, it's awesome. This will take a minute. I'll fast forward. Look, it's pretty smooth. It don't glitch. The graphics look good. I mean, this ain't 4K. It is at 1080p, but it looks sweet. Very, very playable. Wow. Yeah, I actually was like, man, this thing runs awfully smooth. And I hadn't played it on the Shield in so long because you can't get it on there no more. I was like, man, which one's faster, this or the Shield? And I ran a little benchmark test, and yeah, the Shield spanked the Pi, but it does work well though. So looks like you get the gist of it. And in the Google Play Store, the game section, there are quite a bit of games in here. I mean, there's a lot of fun to be had, and this Pi will play all these. Pretty darn cool. There's a lot of games. Multiplayer, fun for everyone, aim and shoot. Really cool. Stopped enemies. This Subdivision Infinity is actually kind of cool. I downloaded it and played it. That's pretty neat. So, as far as games goes, this thing's pretty cool. Not bad at all. Let's look at why this is so good. We've got our home here, which is amazing. I haven't even installed any apps really. Just the one game. We have free live TV, which is great. Like, this alone is amazing to me. I use it a lot. You can get your local channels sometimes. It depends on where you live. But here is the Google TV free play section. 160 channels in there. And these are from apps. So you got popular movies, news and opinion, local news, crime, hit TV shows, classic TV, reality, sports, game shows, comedy, entertainment, home design, food, nature and travel, lifestyle, daytime TV, gaming and anime, kids, music, Espanol, international, and miscellaneous. I mean, that's some serious TV. So that's another great reason. And you know, if you want to buy something new, or you got a movie that you're just wanting to watch, you can rent it from here. This will give you ideas of what you can watch that you didn't know existed. I like the Discover tab. And apps. So, not only does it run great, it's a great operating system. I actually like the Android TV operating system better than I do the Google TV operating system. I don't know, the Google TV operating system, it's just, I don't know, it seems to take over too many things. I don't really like it as much as the Android TV operating system. So guys, there it is. Now, I should have said this at the beginning, but there is one downfall. It does not work with Netflix. As far as I know, that is basically the only downfall I can find about this Android TV for the Pi. Well, I have gotten a lot of requests to do this one. More requests to do this video than probably any other video. So I hope I did it justice. And we covered it all. Look at what we did. So I am really glad you guys came along and stuck around to the end. Look, man, trooper. This was a long one. So that means that you really wanted to get this done yourself. And that's awesome. That's what I want. That's what I want to hear. You guys give this a shot. It's fun. It works great, and you won't be disappointed either. It's not going to be one of those just throw it together and never use it again. This thing's pretty cool. So I hope you liked this one. I hope you learned something. If you did, like and subscribe. And as always, have a tech day.